Vicky Kaushal is undoubtedly one of the most versatile actors in the modern era of Bollywood.
साला ये दुख का खत्म नहीं होता बे.
He doesn't fix himself up with just one kind of role, but more or less shines in every sort of acting. From a serious character to a random Indian man with mild humor. If you're watching iOS, here is the top 10 list of Vicky Kaushal performances. Be sure to be subscribed to the channel before going further. Number 10. Parash Last Stories. For a very little time though, but Vicky Kaushal still put an impact in the last shot of Last Stories, directed by Karan Johar. The short told the story of a newly married woman to the character of Vicky Kaushal, who is very unsatisfied with her husband, tries a different way of satisfaction with a vibrator. Centering very much on the character of Kaira Advani, Vicky Kaushal here was only a witnesser, but he did that perfectly. The disbelief, disappointments, all with a fine comic relief, and it worked.
जो वो सब भूल जाते हैं, नई शुरुआत करते हैं.
Number 9. Iqbal Saeed, Razi. Razi is much more centered in Alia Bhatt's character and performance, but Vicky Kaushal as a Pakistani chief officer delivered a decent performance.
दो गोलियों का इस्तेमाल कर लो सहमत. एक मेरे लिए, एक अपने लिए.
Razi is about an Indian spy named Sehmat who marries the Pakistani officer Iqbal to keep an eye on them and shares their intentions with their own country. Iqbal Saeed here is much more honest and doesn't go along with the stereotypes most Bollywood movies have created about the Pakistanis. The performance here was though less challenging than most of the movies he worked on, but it demanded a serious person doing their job immensely, which he succeeded in. Number 8. Dilshed, Zuban. Zuban is one of the least known movies starring Vicky Kaushal. Though the movie is rather underwhelming, the performance was not. Zuban is a tale of a young boy who has dreamed of becoming a great person, but in the journey, seeing the corruption and unfairness, he chose to pursue his passion for singing. In this musical drama, Kaushal played a quiet boy beautifully, which is truly remarkable.
देखो जी, मेरी वजह से गुस्सा ना करो. आप जो भी कहो जी, क्या फर्क
पड़ता है. मुझे फर्क पड़ता है. मुझे मैडम सुनने की आदत है.
Number 7. Vicky Sandhu, Manmarzia. Starring in the second Anurag Kashyap picture in his career, he shined in here too. In this tale of a love triangle, he portrayed an over-aggressive man who is in love with a woman who marries someone else.
जिम्मेदारी नहीं समझ आती मुझे, और ये जबरदस्ती तूने की है. और तूने जो ये बकवास की है ना, वो गलत नहीं बोला तूने. कुछ पर बोलना नहीं चाहिए था तुझे.
Playing a person who is rather unstructured in the society, careless about things, this performance though seems like Kaushal played many times before, but is really unique. It is totally freakish and much impressive. Number 6. Sardar Udham Singh, Sardar Udham.
Time to meet my friend.
Sardar Udham was the Indian revolutionary who had assassinated Michael O'Dwyer for leading the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Playing such a character was a challenge, and he truly maintained that responsibility. Though the film, being technically rich, doesn't even feel requiring of great performances, his facial reactions, despondent face, and hopeless expression were so well reflected that successfully could feel the emotional impact on the film outside of the sad background score.
Singh, do you plead guilty?
I plead not guilty. Not guilty. Dwyer was guilty. You are guilty. Your policies are guilty.
I'll ask you one more time. Do you plead guilty?
I protested.
Number 5. Sanjay Chaturvedi, Love Per Square Foot. In the crowd of actors doing various kinds of challenging performances, people tend to forget that playing a simple man doing simple and relatable things is hard as well. Kaushal's performance in Love Per Square Foot is undoubtedly his simplest performance of all time, which had great relatable writing behind it, and he portrayed that as simply as possible. That had a lot of engaging vibes.
Can I take you out for coffee? I know ये थोड़ा यहीं पास में है, थोड़ा दूर. Please.
He played a man who is trying to buy a place by taking a loan, where he comes across a bank employee who too is in a desire for some personal space, and they both mutually try to get a new flat.
हम दोनों joint loan नहीं ले सकते? नहीं मतलब साथ में फॉर्म भर देते हैं. अगर लॉटरी लग गई तो लाइफ बन जाएगी यार.
Number 4. Kamlesh Sanju. Though Kaushal has played a comic role multiple times, it never got as close to character as he went in Sanju.
Control your emotions. जाएगी दोस्ती है साला. तू ना अपने माँ बाप का ही नहीं है, दोस्त क्या बनेगा?
Kamlesh was the best friend of Sanjay Dutt in real life. Playing a real life character was as hard as it could be imagined, but Kaushal had successfully screened the realness as better as possible. The character was funny, cheeky, and often dumb, who had kept the film going from such rather dull overwriting and a weak direction.
ये एक ऑर्डिनरी आदमी है. ये ना लाइफ की कोई फिलोसफी है, ना कोई मकसद है. मेरे को बोलता है
लाइफ में तीन ही चीजें हैं कमली, ख प च।
Number 3. Vian Sergil Uri. Uri is a film filled with hard-boiled nationalism that is powered by the fine visionary direction by Aditya Dhar and the strong performance by Kaushal. This is the performance that made Vicky Kaushal get his well-deserved national award. He is the character of a major in the Indian army who had led the surgical strike that occurred in 2016.
Indian army ने जंग शुरू नहीं की थी, but we will bloody hell finish it. Yes sir. How's the Josh? Hi sir. How's the Josh? Hi sir. I said how's the Josh? Hi sir.
This is a lovable character. It's everything an average Indian moviegoer can ask for. But gladly, while most of the time a soldier character in Bollywood movies gets much more pretentiously patriotic and less serious, there Vicky Kaushal balanced that well and deserved the praise he got. Number 2. Deepak Chaudhary, Masan. In this debut performance, Vicky Kaushal played a young boy living in a coastal area. A worker in a cemetery falls in love with a girl who, being a person of upper caste than him, makes it harder for the relationship to work. But the movie isn't all centered on caste issues, rather it was very far from it.
तो अब तो हम फ्रेंड हो गए हैं ना?
With a portrayal of two parallel stories, Masan is a film about loss and love, where Vicky Kaushal's performance completed it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime performance that is not only impressive for just Vicky Kaushal's career, but the whole of Bollywood in this century.
तू किसी रेल से गुजरती है, मैं किसी पुल सा थरथराता हूँ.
Number 1. Raghavan, Raman Raghav 2.0. Starting a career with two quiet performances in Masan and Zuban, wherein both he was a shy, innocent young boy, in Raman Raghav 2.0, Vicky Kaushal completely proved his excellence.
तुझे डर नहीं लगता मुझसे?
Raman Raghav is dark. Here he played a police officer named Raghav, who is after Raman, a psycho killer. In this cat-mouse race, we find him to be as crazy and even as intense as Raman is.
कितनी बार बोला मुझसे चिल्ला के बात मत किया कर.
Playing an officer who is violent, angry, and addict who doesn't care about things around him, along with an issue with their father, this is a character Bollywood demands oftentimes but hardly ever gets any. This is a near-perfect reflection of extreme nihilism from Vicky Kaushal, and for me is so far the greatest performance of his career and one of the top 20 best performances I've seen in my life.
तू कोई मेरी स्टडी गर्लफ्रेंड है? नहीं. वो जो फोन पे थी ना, वो मेरी एक्सक्लूसिव माँ है और मैं उसका एक्सक्लूसिव बेटा. और उसके लिए तू एक जानने वाली है बस.
So that was the video. Hope you liked it and share your own opinion in the comment box, and thanks for watching.